Hello everybody, this is a bit of a learning video now for parents because it's a little bit difficult for me to do this as a teaching video for the children without your involvement. So I thought it might be better if I tell you about this and you can probably try it at home with your children. So one of the ways in which we assess your child at school in terms of their understanding of words is we look at something called information carrying words. And that's a word that carries meaning. So, for instance, if in the morning when your children are getting dressed and you get their jumper, and I used to do this with my own children as well, and you'll say, come on, put your jumper on. The child you don't know whether or not the child understands the word jumper, because by your very actions that you're role modelling, that child understands that you want them to come and put their jumper on. If you maybe had them laid out on the bed and you had a jumper, a hat and a scarf and you said, go and put your jumper on, then you wouldn't, and they came back with the jumper, then you would understand that they know what that word means. So what we do at preschool is we do certain exercises with them to try and suss out whether or not they know that word or whether or not they're just following suit from the context of what's going on in the room. So another good example is if a child is asked to go and wash their hands, sometimes that child might not move off the carpet, but then they'll see what other children are doing and they'll get up then and then they'll go and wash their hands. So what we need to assess is, have they understood the instruction and the meaning of the words we've used, or are they just copying other children to do what's expected of them, a little bit like the jumper? Yeah? So there's a good little exercise that you can do, and I know some of you might be thinking now, oh yeah, right, don't know about that. So it's a good exercise that you can do at home to test their understanding of words with meaning or information carrying words, yeah? So, and it's very important as well when you're doing this exercise with your child that you look at them straight in their eyes and you don't look at the objects that you're using. Because again, they'll follow your guide and your lead, and invariably when you're teaching children certain things, you will look, in a certain way or be distracted by what you want them to do, and it's important not to do that because otherwise the child might end up picking something because they're looking at what you're looking at. Yeah? So for instance, I've got here some farmyard animals. I've got a horse, a sheep, a pig and a cow. So an example of assessing one information carrying word would be to have them all out, and you could use other objects. You could use a spoon, a fork, a knife, different things. Doesn't have to be 4 items, but obviously it's got to be 2 or 3, so they've got some choice, so it's not just a 50-50 choice and a guess. So you could then say to the child, look at them and say, give me the horse. And then you want the child to look at the items, choose correctly which is the horse, and give it to you. That then means that your child understands the meaning of what's in that sentence. Yeah? So that means they understand one information carrying word. Then to progress to 2 information carrying words, because what you tend to find is when a child's 1, they should be able to understand 1 information carrying word. Age 2, 2 information carrying words, and so on. Although we don't tend to go beyond 4 anyway, 4 or 5. So what you can do is introduce the concept of size. So for this example, I'm obviously using the same animals, but I've got smaller versions as well. So 2 information carrying words would be to say to the child, give me the small pig. So the child has then got to understand and differentiate which is the pig and also which is the small pig. So you're asking them then to choose between small and large. Yeah? So if they can get that correctly, you then, or you might use large instead of small, whichever one you would use, but that's then 2 information carrying words. You're giving them an instruction with 2 meanings of 2 words. Yeah? I hope this is making sense because it is quite difficult to do on a video reel to show you what we do. And then what you can do then to extend it up to 3 information carrying words, you can introduce other objects. So I've got a cup here and a bowl. So if I wanted to do 3 information carrying words, what I could say is use the same as we did before. give me the large sheep and put it next to the cup. So then they've got to work out which is the sheep, which is the large sheep, and which is the cup, because we've got a cup and a bowl. So that's 3 information carrying words. But actually, naturally there, I have actually started introducing a 4th one there, a 4th level of information carrying words, because what we actually said was put it next to the cup. So to really make it into 4 information carrying words, what we could say is put the large cow inside the cup. So that's 4 information carrying words they've had to pick. Which is the cow, which is a large cow, which is the cup, from the cup in the bowl, and you could have other things out as well, and then inside. So it could be inside, it could be behind, it could be in front of. They've got to then know what that preposition is. And sometimes you can do it on a table as well, and you might say put it under the table or on top of the table, and that would be then your 4th information carrying word. Now, you can't progress, if the child's not understanding 2 information carrying words, you can't then progress to 3, because that will just make it more complicated. So what you need to do then is practice on the 2 information carrying words. And you can do it with clothes. It's a really, really good idea to do it in the morning when they're getting dressed. Have a variety of clothes there and say, go and get your vest, or go and get your jumper. And then they've got to choose. So you know then very easily they've got 1 information carrying words. Yeah? So I hope that makes sense. It is quite difficult, like I say, to do on video. So have a go of it anyway. It might be useful, it might not be useful. I'm just trying to think of different things for you to do at home, really, and to extend some learning whilst I can't be there doing it with you. Have a go, let me know you go on. Good luck, stay safe.